I'm Olivia, a women's health exercise physiologist. This is going to be a 10-minute pelvic floor relaxation video. So maybe one that you'll pop on and follow along before using your pelvic floor dilator or wand, any exercises given to you by a pelvic floor physiotherapist. Or maybe you know that you have tight and overactive pelvic floor muscles that need some relaxation and release and stretching. So we're just going to be doing 2 stretches or poses in this video. For the second one, if you know that you have tight inner thighs or pelvic floor muscles, you might benefit from some yoga blocks or some towels or jumpers if you don't have these at home. But that will be for the second one, so I'll just pop them to the side. So our first one we're going to do is called a happy baby. A few different ways you can do this. It is quite an intense stretch, so I'll show you the full version and then I'll show you some ways that we can make it easier, because it's really important that you're able to relax into these stretches and these movements so that you can actually relax and release your muscles. Otherwise, if your muscles are just really stretched out and they're really tight, you're not going to get any benefit out of it. So lying down on your back, you're going to grab either the outside of the arches of your feet, or I personally prefer the inside of the arches of my feet, and then taking your feet up towards the ceiling, like you're drawing your knees to the outside of your elbows towards your shoulders or your armpits. Now ideally you'd bring your head down flat on the floor, the mat. But if you feel like you're not able to do that because that's putting pressure on your back, or that just doesn't feel comfortable to, then that's a sign that this is too intense of a stretch for you. Or if you're holding this stretch and you can feel that your muscles are just super duper tight and you can't quite relax and breathe into it, then we need to take an easier stretch as well. So just bringing your hands to your shins or to your ankles. I like to go elbows on the inside of my knees for this one. Rather than having knees together, we want knees out wide. So we're still trying to draw our feet up towards the ceiling. We're not letting our feet dangle down. If this is still too intense, then you might like to grab behind your thighs and pulling your knees in towards you. So whichever option feels like a good level of stretch for you. You're feeling the stretch through the muscles, but you're able to keep breathing. So once you've got your position or your pose, we're just going to hold here. So we're going to check in with our breath. Firstly, check that we're not holding our breath and we're able to breathe at a comfortable speed or comfortable pace. Now, ideally we're trying to do our deep belly breathing, or our diaphragmatic breathing. So that means as we inhale, our belly expands, and as we exhale, our belly relaxes. Belly's nice and squishy. So trying to now change your breath to have that belly expansion as you inhale. Now we're checking in with our pelvic floor. So we know the goal is to try and relax through our pelvic floor muscles, which is not bearing down or forcing our pelvic floor muscles down, just releasing any tightness or tension, letting go. Which is why we're doing our deep belly breathing, because we know that that can help with releasing pelvic floor tension. You might even feel your thighs on your belly, and that can be a nice little feedback system to know if you are breathing deep down into your belly. So as you inhale, can you feel your belly expand against your thighs? So just checking that we're relaxing through pelvic floor, letting go of any tension there. We're just going to hold for another 3 slow breaths. And as you exhale on your last breath, maybe bringing your feet and knees together, hugging your knees straight into your chest. So you're tucking into a little ball for a moment. Taking one big inhale. Exhale, letting go. Pop your feet down on the ground. Now this second pose or position is our butterfly. This is where you might want your yoga blocks or pillows or towels. So we're just going to have the soles of our feet together and our knees out wide. But if this feels quite intense of a stretch, then this is where we might pop those blocks or towels under our knees or our legs to support them and take the weight of our legs. Because particularly for this pose, this shouldn't feel strenuous. This should feel like you're able to completely relax your legs, relaxing your inner thighs. But if you feel comfortable without anything under your legs, if you're able to just fully let the weight of gravity open your knees wide, then you can go with that option. Now coming back to our belly breath. So for this one, you might like to have your hands on your belly or lower rib cage if that pressure feels okay. And so now we can actually feel with our hands as we inhale, expanding belly and hands. Exhale, relaxing, releasing that breath, squishy belly, no tension through belly. Inhale, expanding belly. Exhale, letting go. Checking that we don't have any tension, we're not tensing our legs. We're relaxing our legs into the blocks or into the floor, the pillows, or just letting gravity supporting and pushing our legs out. If you're doing this before using a pelvic floor dilator or a wand, you might like to start visualizing those exercises that you're going to be doing. And just imagining no tension through your pelvic floor. We've got nice and relaxed muscles. And they're ready to do those exercises. Again, checking with our breath, so maybe your hands on your belly. Checking in that we are breathing into our belly. Our arms are nice and relaxed though, even with our hands on our belly. If you do have any props under your legs, if your legs are feeling super comfortable now, you might like to try removing those props and just letting gravity pull the full weight of your legs out wide. Still the option to have your hands on your belly or just arms by your side. Now, if you're not sure if you have relaxed through your pelvic floor muscles, you might like to do a little squeeze of pelvic floor so that you know what it feels like to have pelvic floor squeeze, and then completely relax. So you can feel that difference between a pelvic floor contraction and between pelvic floor relaxation. So we're not pushing down, bearing down through pelvic floor, but we've got a nice, soft, squishy belly, no tension through our core. We're not trying to imagine we're stopping the flow of urine. We're not holding anything in through front passage or back passage. Letting go. We'll hold here for another 3 slow belly breaths. Particularly as you exhale, imagining that letting go and release, opening of pelvic floor muscles. Now, of course, you're welcome to stay in this longer, or you might like to return back to the happy baby pose if you were finding more benefit from that one. So you can choose all those different options or modifications. If you had to take an easier option with the happy baby, maybe you're ready to try the full version of it now. Or maybe you're ready to do your pelvic floor exercises.